So, the world is coming to a head. We're really starting to see problems around the planet. And what we're going to talk about today is drought and what's happening with more and more drought around the world. Nearly 1 in 4 people now live in drought-stricken areas around the world. According to a new UN report, the UN warns of an unprecedented emergency on a planetary scale and says the human and economic cost of the world droughts are likely higher than that of any other hazards on the earth. So right now, the most hazardous problem with climate change is drought around the world, and that's only going to get worse. The report released on the second day of COP28 calls for transformational change and points to wide-ranging solutions, from adapting water efficiency technologies to offset carbon emissions with land restoration where land is put back into its natural state. Now that's what I've been saying all along. Instead of developing ever more and more land, we need to be putting more and more land into its original state that it used to be in. At present, 1.8 billion people are drought stricken. So what are we doing about it? Well, let's just take an example here in the U.S. of what's happening with the southwest of the U.S. Here in the U.S., New Mexico looks to address the increasing drought by using brackish and wastewater. New Mexico wants to spend $500 million on salty water from deep underground and wastewater from oil and gas production as a solution to its water shortages. So what this means is that New Mexico wants to spend a ton of money on buying water from oil and gas use and repurpose that so that they can reuse it in industry, and they plan on later using it for drinking water for the people of New Mexico. Do you people really want to be drinking water that was used for oil and gas extraction? I sure wouldn't want to. Cities are calling the plan a handout for fossil fuel industries, while further drilling for more oil and gas where the wastewater comes from, driving increased emissions from greenhouse gases to further warm the climate and dry out the region even more. So unfortunately, that's not really much of a solution, is it? You pay money to the very organization that's causing the warming and the dryness in the first place, which causes more drilling and more dryness and more fossil fuel emissions being released into the atmosphere, which causes more and more drought. It just doesn't make any sense, people. We need to get off of fossil fuel, and we need to get off of it quickly as we rebuild the planet back to its natural state, where nature is the dominant force on the planet, not humans, because humans obviously are not doing it right. If they were doing it right, we wouldn't be in the situation we're on right now. So here locally in San Francisco, we've decided to deal with the drought by pumping underground water underneath the city up and mixing it with fresh water. They think that we can't taste the difference. There's a huge difference. When they're mixing this horrible underground water with the fresh water, it tastes like hell. It's no good at all, and people start drinking bottled water and not using the water that's in the tap. Not only that, but when they do that, it pollutes the water that's in the tap and creates dirty tap and pipes, which then makes it so it takes longer and longer to flush out this funky water out of the systems. And I'm sure this is happening all over the U.S. and all over the world, where industry is trying to figure out how to reuse funky wastewater. Let's hope it doesn't come to that for very long. Let's hope we come to our senses and somehow come back and we're able to use nothing but fresh water for our drinking water. As far as industry goes, that's up to them to deal with the wastewater that they're reclaiming and reusing. So myself, I am slowly healing. My shoulders are getting slightly better. All my cuts and bruises and stitches are healing up nicely, and I'm able to do a lot of things that I didn't used to do just a week ago. So hopefully my healing abilities will continue, and within 4 or 5 months I will be back to my normal routine of what I used to do. But until then, we'll just carry on, and hopefully people will put up with the new situation and just deal with it. I can't take the camera outside yet. I can't lift it. I can't hold it. It's too heavy. It's very hard just to set up things here in the studio. So with that, we'll call this kind of a short video, and I appreciate you guys coming by and leaving comments, and your ups and your new subscribers, and until next time.